Welcome to part 153 of Flipping Tables. And this is January the 4th, 2026 by man's calendar. And we are going back into Malachi 2:11. Judah hath dealt treacherously, and an abomination is committed in Israel and in Jerusalem. For Judea hath profaned the holiness of the Lord, which he loved, and hath married the daughter of a strange god. Now, as I was trying to say in the last part, and I got rudely interrupted, I got very rudely interrupted. But anyways, Solomon did this. He married many wives, in fact, that had other gods, that had strange gods. And instead of teaching them to come into the covenant with his God, he started doing according to them and their gods. He built them temples even that weren't supposed to be built there. It was supposed to be, Solomon was supposed to build God a house, not the gods a house. But what did he end up doing? See, that's what pride and arrogance will do for you, folks. It will make you self-willed, and it will cause you to go against God himself. The Lord will cut off the man that doeth this, the master and the scholar out of the tabernacles of Jacob, and him that offereth an offering unto the Lord of hosts. And this have ye done again, covering the altar of the Lord with tears, with weepings, with crying out, insomuch that he regardeth not the offerings any more, or receiveth it with good will at your hand. Yet ye say, wherefore? Because the Lord hath been witness between thee and the wife of thy youth, against whom ye have dealt treacherously. Yet is she thy companion, and the wife of thy covenant? And did not he make one? Yet had he the residue of the Spirit. Wherefore one, that he might seek a godly seed. Therefore take heed to your spirit, and let none deal treacherously against the wife of his youth. For the Lord, the God of Israel, saith that he hateth putting away. For one covereth violence with his garment, saith the Lord of hosts. Therefore take heed to your spirit, that ye deal not treacherously. That means be not unfaithful. I've been there. I've been through that. My husband was unfaithful to me, and he put me away so that he could be with other people and to do his things. his worldly things that he wanted to do that I would not contend with and would not partake of. I'm not going to go into all that. I'm going to leave it at that. The Lord knoweth. And the Lord has forgiven this thing because it was from years ago. And there is many of you who keep bringing up my past when I have forgiven this and moved on. So why? Why do you have any right when you were not there living in that? Not being asked to do things against your beliefs. You were not there. And you were not the one being commanded not to obey God. It was me. Yet I refused. So I was put away. Because I wouldn't turn on God. Now, we're going to leave it at that. I'm not going to go into all the details of how they wanted me to do this. Because that is not important. That is not the issue. But what right have you to bring this back up before God when he has forgiven it? And it has been washed away. I have been baptized in the name of Jesus. This does not exist anymore. So what right have you to bring back up my past? Which you do. Because you are nosy. And you want to know. And you want to point out that I was a sinner. Well, hello? What do you think you are? When you bring back up somebody else's past, you're still a sinner. Because you're trying to be nosy into something that happened that is over and that God took care of. God severed that himself because it was destroying me. God was merciful in that because it was hurting me spiritually. And there was no other answer. Now, I'm not going to speak evil of this other person because I'm praying that God will save them. Many of you may already believe that God has. That's fine. I don't care what you believe. I go by what the Lord tells me. Now, that is his walk between him and the Lord. He is nothing to me anymore. God has severed that. It is no more. It's washed away. It doesn't exist. God has cast it into the sea of forgetfulness. It is gone. I'm not out here chasing after millions of people. I'm trying to serve the Lord. I'm not sleeping with anybody and committing fornication. I'm not doing any of these things. I did not do these things. Now, the husband that I had died. 16 years I was with that husband and would still be had he not died. That was something I could not control. I did not cheat on him. I didn't go run around looking for anybody else. It is his birthday. Would have been his birthday today had he lived. And I miss him a great deal. And I don't have to grieve in front of you to grieve. Doesn't mean I'm not doing it. The Lord sees every tear that I have cried. He has seen every sleepless night and held me in them. He has been my friend, my confidant, my counselor. But where were the ministers to come to offer me counseling when I went through all these horrible things? Where was God's ministers? Nowhere, because you believed lies. This is going to take you to hell because you don't know how to properly discern. We discussed that. You do not know how to judge what is truth. You should watch people and not just assume that they're a good minister because their mama and papa might be good people in the church, or just because their brother or sister might have been a good person in the church. Each person according to their own works. Now, I don't want to speak on this anymore, and I'm not going to. If you bring it up again, I will refer you to my Father and let Him deal with you for it. Why do you bring things back up before God? I'm not the only one you're doing this to. You're doing it to other people. Let it go and let God deal with it. What are you going to do? Stone me to death when I wasn't even the one who did anything wrong? Go ahead. Try. See what my God does for you. I remind you, He says, those without sin cast the first stone. What sins are in your closet that you have walked away from? What sins are in your closet that you have not yet walked away from? Do you want me to start airing those out? Because He could absolutely let me. He has before. Let's not go there. Stop. Drop it. Let it go. I was not a cheater then. I am not a cheater now. I have already told you, a good tree cannot bring forth corrupt fruit. I don't care what you heard. I heard a lot about y'all too, but I have not believed a good bunch of it because the Lord told me better. For 4 years my husband has been dead. I have not been with anybody. 4 years! Now, certainly, if I was a Jezebel or a harlot, I would have been out here romping around by then. Stop it! Now! Shut your tongue against people that are working for the Lord. For everyone who doeth this, in the days pressing forward, because we are in the last moments of the last day, you will bear a plague upon your house that will not come off to your death. Stop coming against the servants of God. It is spoken, it shall be done. The Lord said that we should be able to release the kraken, so to speak, plagues, as often as we would. Alrighty. You keep being evil, and God will reward it. I promise you that. Because it is evil to continuously try to put stuff on people to cause them harm, especially about things they had no control over. If your husband or your wife left you today, could you control that? If they left you for somebody else and just went on their way and they told you, this is what we're doing, it's over, bye. Do you think that didn't cause me a lot of pain and heartache? So your answer is to continue to cause me pain and heartache by bringing it back up. You're a devil. You have no place in the kingdom of heaven. Because of what I have gone through, I would not do these things to other people. Continuously bring back up their past. Because I know that not everything that I hear is the truth. Unless God told me. So, anyways, I'm done with this subject. I don't know why God had me go there. Apparently somebody's lips are wagging again. So, it's visited, it's done, and I'm done with it. If there was no way for sinners to ever be able to serve God, no one would be fit to since Adam. There would never be a minister of the gospel because no one would be able to be cleansed to be a servant of God. I suppose that was the point that God wanted me to make, though. But the grace covenant is coming to an end, you see. The dispensation of grace is about to end, and y'all don't want to believe that. But the day of the Lord is a day of darkness, and the light cannot be here. But anyways, going on. In the book of Malachi, I'm going to recap 12. Malachi 2:12. The Lord will cut off the man that doeth this, the master and the scholar, out of the tabernacle of Jacob, and him that offereth an offering unto the Lord of hosts. And this have ye done again, covering the altar of the Lord with tears, with weeping, and with crying out, insomuch that he regardeth not the offering any more, or receiveth it with good will at your hand. Yet ye say, wherefore? Because the Lord hath been witness between thee and the wife of thy youth, against whom ye hast dealt treacherously. Yet is she thy companion, and the wife of thy covenant. And did not he make one? Yet had he the residue of spirit, and wherefore one, that he might seek a godly seed. Therefore take heed to your spirit, and let none deal treacherously against the wife of his youth, but yet many of you are. For the Lord, the God of Israel, saith that he hateth putting away. For one covereth violence with his garment, saith the Lord of hosts. Therefore take heed to your spirit, that ye deal not treacherously. Ye have wearied the Lord with your words. Yet ye say, wherein have we wearied him? When ye say, every one that doeth evil is good in the sight of the Lord, and he delighteth in them. Or where is the God of judgment? See, that's exactly what y'all doing, though. You want to say everybody's good. No, they not. That was my point, too, about my ex and my past. Y'all thought he was good because that's what he lived in front of you, but y'all didn't see what was going on behind the closed doors. You didn't have to deal with that. I did. You didn't have to deal with the hurt and the heartaches and the constant tears that my God heard because of what was happening to me. My God did. It is up to God now because I have forgiven and I have moved on. And I will go my way because I did according to the scriptures. He put me away so that he could go be with other people. He left me for other people. And because I would not do evils that he wanted me to do. And I wouldn't partake of that stuff. Because he did not love me to begin with. And so he left. To go do his will. And how many things has he done since then? And y'all wanted to blame me for those things that he did. When I had no control over what he did. Was he not the head? Yeah, he had control over his own self. Wasn't me. But the wife is supposed to have control over what over the husband's body. But there was no any of that. And the Lord said that it were not so, save for fornication purposes. He put me away so that he could fornicate. Not me. It was 2 years before I married again after that. And I waited on the Lord to see if the Lord wanted it. And when the Lord brought someone, yes, I did marry again. And I stayed with him until he died. And I would have still been with him had he not died. I am not a harlot. I am not an adulterer. I am not a fornicator. You can say whatever you want to, because you're going to believe whatever you want to believe, because you are evil. That's on you. That ain't on me. I went to the river, and I had my sins washed away. Anyways, Malachi 3. Behold, I will send my messenger, and he shall prepare the way before me. And the Lord whom ye seek shall suddenly come to his temple, even the messenger of the covenant, whom ye delight in. Behold, he shall come, saith the Lord of hosts. And yet, even when this messenger has come, you don't receive them. You don't believe them. It took me forever to even get you all to accept the fact we were in the last days and that the Lord was returning. You didn't want to hear the truth. But who may abide the day of his coming? And whom shall stand when he appeareth? For he is like a refiner's fire, and like fuller's soap. And he shall sit as a refiner and purifier of silver. And he shall purify the sons of Levi, and purge them as gold and silver, that they may offer unto the Lord offering in righteousness. That's all I've been trying to get y'all to do for years now. Y'all didn't want to hear. And I grow weary of your mockery of the Lord. Then shall the offering of Judah and Jerusalem be pleasant unto the Lord, as in the days of old, and as in former years. And I will come near to you to judgment, and I will be a swift witness against the sorcerers. So if you are a sorcerer, you have this space in which to come out and to repent of your actions. That's any kinds of witchcraft. Even the pharmacists and doctors that are participating in these sorceries that they do, a pharmakia. But this is what the Lord said, and I will come near to you to judgment, and I will be a swift witness against the sorcerers, and against the idolaters, and against the false swearers, and against those that oppress the hireling in his wages, the widow, and the fatherless, and that turn aside the stranger from his right, and fear not me, saith the Lord of hosts. Don't tell me y'all don't turn away the widows. A good many of yous have. God knows them that stood by the widows, and them that didn't. But anyways, going on. For I am the Lord, I change not. Told y'all this, Hebrews 13:8. He changes not. God don't change. Therefore ye sons of Jacob are not consumed. Even from the days of your fathers ye are gone away from mine ordinance. You're gone away from mine ordinance, and have not kept them. Return unto me, and I will return unto you, saith the Lord of hosts. But ye said, wherein shall we return? Will a man rob God? Then ye have robbed me. But ye say, wherein have we robbed thee? In tithes and offerings. Ye are cursed with a curse, for ye have robbed me, even this whole nation. You haven't even done the tithes and offerings the way that he told y'all to. But it's not just invite, but the taking of them and receiving them more often than you should. But it's also in the fact that you do with them whatever you see fit instead of what He has said in His Word. So you rob God in the fact you take them more often than you should. And then you do with them what you will. You pay preachers and stuff. No, that's not what you're supposed to do with that. What does it say there in verse 9 though? Ye are cursed with the curse, for ye have robbed me, even this whole nation. Bring ye all the tithes into the storehouse, that there may be meat in my house. That's food. And prove me now herewith, saith the Lord of hosts, if I will not open you the windows of heaven, and pour ye out a blessing, that there shall not be room enough to receive it. And I will rebuke the devourer for your sakes, and he shall not destroy the fruits of your ground, neither shall your vine cast her fruit before the time in the field, saith the Lord of hosts. And all nations shall call you blessed, for ye shall be a delight. Some land, saith the Lord of hosts, your words have been stout against me, saith the Lord. Yet ye say, What have we spoken so much against thee? Really? Ye have said, It is vain to serve God. And what profit is it that we have kept his ordinance, and that we have walked mournfully before the Lord of hosts? And now we call the the proud happy. Yea, they that work wickedness are set up. Yea, they that tempt God are even delivered. Then they that feared the Lord spake often one to another. The Lord hearkened and heard it, and the book of remembrance was written before him for them that feared the Lord, and that thought upon his name. And they shall be mine, saith the Lord of hosts, in the day when I make up my jewels, and I will spare them, as a man spareth his own son that serveth him. Then shall ye return, and discern between the righteous and the wicked, between him that serveth God and him that serveth him not. Where are you returning from? Because it says right there in verse 18, Then shall ye return and discern between the righteous and the wicked. Going on into chapter 4. Well, I guess not, because we've surpassed the time on this video. I'll see you in the next part, and then we'll go into chapter 4. I just realized I've been over my time. Keep Acts 2:38. Acts Acts 19 proves it.